It's a day for the older horses in the Pimlico Special, 4-year-olds and up at 1 mile and 3/16. It's a tale of horses, of course, but also of a man. 4 o'clock in the morning has been the starting time of Charlie Whittingham's workday for more than half a century. 3 years ago, at age 73, he won his first Kentucky Derby, the oldest trainer to win the great race. And last Saturday, he won again with Sunday Silence. The enthusiasm is still there. The talent is still there. And today, Charlie brings another horse, 4-year-old Lively One, to the Pimlico Special. Lively One isn't the favorite. That role goes to Crypto Clearance, a game little horse coming into his own at age 5. He ran in the Special last year and passed Ali Sheba to finish third behind Bet Twice and Lost Code. Now it may be his turn, but Charlie's horse stands in the way with 10 others in the Pimlico Special on ABC's Wide World of Sports. In a moment. 1938, the Pimlico Special. The two top horses of the day, War Admiral and Seabiscuit, were brought together in a match race, East versus West. And the West, Seabiscuit, the underdog, won in a contest that is now part of racing history. Charlie Whittingham, age 25, was a struggling young horse trainer in California on that day, still decades away from the triumphs that would make him a living legend. 1988, half a century later, Charlie had seen many winner's circles, but he had never won the Special. He could only watch as Bet Twice defeated Lost Code, Crypto Clearance, and the remarkable Ali Sheba. In all those years, Charlie had only run one horse in the Special. But in that interval, he had won more stakes races than any trainer in history, more than 500 of them. Perhaps more important, he had become the most admired and respected trainer in the game. He won his first Kentucky Derby at age 73, and last Saturday rooted home Sunday Silence to another Derby victory. The 25-year-old of 1938 now is a vigorous 76-year-old, turning out champion 3-year-olds and older horses. And today, he brings Lively One to the Pimlico Special. A Lively One will not be here this afternoon. He does, however, as you saw, have one big thing in his favor. His trainer is named Charlie Whittingham. The honor of being favorite probably will go to Crypto Clearance, but we'll tell you all about that in just a minute. First of all, if you're not a die-hard racing fan, you may be wondering, where is Sunday Silence? Where is Easy Goer? Well, that's next week in the Preakness Stakes. Those are 3-year-olds, very young horses, really. These are the mature horses, 4-year-olds and upwards, one of the best fields brought together in a long time. And 12 horses will go to the post. As we said, the favorite is Crypto Clearance. But let's take a look at the specifics of the race first. It's a big pot, a big purse, guaranteed $700,000. The distance is 1 mile and 3/16, which is exactly the same as the Preakness will be next week. Track has been fast today. The temperature is 60 degrees and the wind is negligible out of the southwest. Now, as for the odds and the favoritism, here's the way they are at the moment. Let's take a look. Crypto Clearance and his stablemate, and his rabbit, if you will, Lustra, being held at 2-1. Proper Reality, one of the longer shots. Little Bull John, a local horse, 7-1, getting a good deal of support. And he has a good record, too. Let's take a look at some more of them now as we move along. Slew City Slew, he should set the early pace. He's dangerous at 5-1 with Lafitte Pinkai Jr. on his back. Saratoga Passage, a long shot, as is Stall Wars, and Templar Hill, a local horse from Maryland. Then we have Brian's Time, one of the favorites here, at 5-1. Lively One at 8-1, that's Whittingham's horse. Granacus at 70-1, could be a bit of an overlay there. He's not that bad, with Kent DeZormo, the best rider here in Maryland. And Blushing John at 6-1. Let's bring in now our expert on the sport, Charles E. Canty. Now, I mentioned that these are older horses, but I think a very important phrase here is handicap race.
That's right, Jim. These aren't the sophomores anymore. These are the veterans. These are the pro players, if you will. And the handicap division, they not only have to battle each other, but they've got to battle the weights as well. Now, the racing secretary has evaluated each horse's past performance and assigned the weights accordingly. Consequently, Crypto Clearance is going postward at top weight of 123. He's earned $2.5 million, so he deserves it. There's a 16-pound spread in the weights down to Lustra. But the key here, Jim, is all those horses clustered in the middle who are so closely weighted. That just tells us just how wide open and competitive a race this is.
Second lightest weight in the race, by the way, you saw was Templar Hill. That'll be ridden by a female jockey today, Andrea Seefeld. But by the way, women don't like to talk about their weight, but she can't make 108. She can only do 110.
But this little horse runs well for her.
If they were going to handicap and give weights to the trainers, the highest weight here would certainly be to the man we mentioned before, Charlie Whittingham. Dave Johnson talked to him earlier.
Charlie, first of all, congratulations. Sunday Silence winner of the Derby. How's he doing this week?
Well, thank you very well. He's shipped in here good, and we've galloped him a few days here in the muddy racetrack, but it doesn't bother him at all.
What about the Triple Crown? Are you still confident you can take all three?
Barring the unforeseen, I think we're in very, very good shape.
Let's switch gears and talk about today's race. How's Lively One doing?
She's come to this race excellent. The track today I thought might be a little off, which you don't like a real muddy track, but it's going to be perfect today.
Anybody scare you?
Not especially. This is a pretty good horse, and he's better this year than he was last year.
Congratulations and best of luck today.
Thank you very much.
Jim?
Okay, Charlie Whittingham. We talk about legends in this sport. Well, he's a very active, a very living legend. However, there's such a great deal of nostalgia connected with horse racing that you have to think back sometimes, to think back to the great horses, to the Triple Crown winners, to horses like, well, like Seattle Slew. It seems a long time ago, that May afternoon in 1977, when a $17,500 bargain colt named Seattle Slew won the Kentucky Derby. He went on to win the Triple Crown and since then has become one of the great sires. He is still the pride of Mickey and Karen Taylor and their partner, Dr. Jim Hill. He was the vet who selected the horse at a yearling sale. The Taylors were a young couple out of the state of Washington at the time they bought Seattle Slew, inexperienced in the racing game. But now their lives revolve around the sport, Seattle Slew and his sons and daughters, like Slew City Slew, who runs today. Unlike his daddy, he took years to get going, now is at his best at age 5. He races on, winning the Oaklawn Handicap here at an age when good horses used to be retired.
One great thing about racing today is that the money that you can win as a 4-year-old, and with Slew City Slew, you know, he's running as a 5-year-old. You can win a lot of money. You don't have to go to stud. People remember you the first year you retire, but the second and third year, there's new big kids on the block that retire.
So Seattle Slew passes on his genes to a new generation of thoroughbreds. He has a saddle placed on his back every morning at Three Chimneys Farm in Kentucky, unlike most stallions who are simply turned out in their paddock. Seattle Slew feels a rider on his back every day. No one knows what goes through his mind, but the humans watching can't help but remember him on the racetrack. He was special. Karen Taylor remembers.
He's got depth. He's got a gorgeous body. He's like Muhammad Ali. He's all muscle, and he still is that way because he gallops every day. When we saw him on the racetrack, he was like a freight train coming down the track, and he was just on key, and he was powerful. And when you go to the farm today, he still has that power.
The father, and here the son. Slew City Slew. The Taylors would like nothing better than for him to burst out of the starting gate, take the lead, and hold it all the way around. He's capable of doing this, but Charlesy, he may have a problem doing that today, right?
Well, that's not what the connections of Crypto Clearance want to see. They don't want to see them hold that lead. They want to see him pressured early on. Consequently, they have purchased a rabbit in the name of Lustra, and this is a legitimate practice. It's been done throughout the history of racing. Lustra's sole job in this race is to go out of the gate as quickly as he can from that outside post, pressure Slew City Slew as much as he can early on. It's a practice that worked well and would enable Crypto Clearance to turn the tables on Slew City Slew down in Florida. These two have become sort of arch rivals in that southern campaign. And there is Crypto Clearance. I mean, he is a confirmed come-from-behind horse. He has absolutely no early speed. You can't tamper with his running style, but you can help him along by ensuring that the pace up front will be rapid. His big trouble today is going to be traffic. He's got 11 horses to weave his way through, carrying 123 pounds. He's not a sturdy horse. He shouldn't be stopped if it's all possible.
Well, this is a big day in Maryland. The governor is here. The lieutenant governor, Donald Trump, is on hand, beginning a Preakness celebration. Actually, it started last night aboard Donald Trump's yacht. The Trump Princess was tied up in Baltimore's beautiful Inner Harbor. Owners and trainers of horses entered in today's race, gathered for heavy hors d'oeuvres and a look at Mr. Trump's little runabout. There's track owner Frank DeFrancis with owner Alan Paulson. Margaret McManus talked with the Phillips, owners of Brian's Time. The food was excellent, the governor came, and Preakness Week was underway. There's a lot of money going in on the favorites. The entry of Crypto Clearance and Lustra at 8-5 now. Proper Reality at 13-1. The local favorite, Little Bold John, at 8-1. Slew City Slew, second choice in the betting at 9-2. Saratoga Passage at 22-1. There we have Stalwars, a long shot. Templar Hill and other local horses, a long shot. Brian's Time at 6-1 now. Charlie Whittingham's Lively One at 7-1. Granacus at 80-1, and Blushing John at 6-1. Co-third choice with Brian's Time. Now, it's very interesting how this race breaks down. Much more often than usual, front runners, middle runners, and back runners, Chauncey.
It's very clear cut today. We will see Lustra, Sioux City Slew, and Little Bowl John angling all for the lead. Star Wars really fits more in the mid-pack runner category. These are the horses with the tactical speed. They'll be sort of the second flight, not too far off the leaders, but well ahead of the last group here we have. These are the come from behind real stretch runners, Crypto Clearance, Brian's Time. They'll be pretty far back.
And they could be as much as 15, 20 lengths behind on the backstretch. I mean, these are real back runners.
Right, and there again, Jim, the situation is they've got to watch out for traffic. When they make their move, they'll probably have to swing wide and lose ground.
Let's take a look at the post positions. There is number 4, Slew City Slew. We won't take a look. We won't have time to do that, but it is of interest that Lustra, the rabbit, the speed horse, is all the way on the outside. He's going to have to move to get a position into the first turn. Let's go upstairs now to the man who called the race, as always, Dave Johnson.
And as Crypto Clearance moves into line, we take a look at Saratoga Passage. Eddie Delahousie told me that he took the red eye. Not too kind about the red eye. And Andrea Seafeld, who is the sister of Paul Seafeld, who trains Templar Hill, just moved into line. Brian's Time, hoping for a big comeback here this afternoon. John Veach, the trainer. Randy Romero in the white cap, holding it 6-1. And here's the horse Charlie Whittingham trains, hoping for quite a pair of weekends as he saddles Lively One with Robbie Davis. Granacus with Kent DeSormo. This horse won the Bluegrass back in April of '88, and a horse who's had a lot of trouble. Blushing John, Pat Day in the irons, is the last of the 12 to move into the starting gate. The Pimlico Special 1989. All in line.
No good! No good!
And they're off. Slew City Slew toward the inside, out in the middle of the track. Blushing John, Little Bowl John upon the inside. And the rabbit, Lustra, was literally left in the gate as they passed the stands for the first time. Little Bowl John with Donnie Miller on the inside leads at 3 parts of a length. Slew City Slew on the outside with Pin K is second at this point. And now Lustra, charging up quickly but far away from the rail, is now third. Blushing John is fourth. Proper Reality at the rail is tucked in fifth. Stall Wars sixth. Lively One on the outside seventh. Then a gap of 4 lengths. Granacus is racing 8th. Brian's Time on the outside is 9th at this point. Then Templar Hill 10th. Saratoga Passage along the inside is racing 11th, and it's 6 lengths farther back to the trailer Crypto Clearance, who is about 18 lengths off the leaders. And on the front end, it's Slew City Slew. Pinkai, looking for his 3rd winner of the day, has the lead by about a neck. The half in 46-2. And on the outside, Lustra is pressing the pace for his stablemate Crypto Clearance, who is still absolutely last. To the far turn, Slew City Slew opens up a notch. Lustra is dropping back. Proper Reality on the inside in good position. Blushing John is right there. Little Bowl John is next. Stall Wars, the long shot between horses. Lively One on the outside, and at the rail, Granacus finds room and is moving up boldly as they race to the top of the stretch. Blushing John up on the outside. Proper Reality between horses. Slew City Slew along the inside is dropping back third. Granacus behind a wall of horses, and down the stretch they come. The battle on the front end. Blushing John with Cat Day on the outside. Proper Reality and Jerry Bailey on the inside dropping back. Granacus is finished. He's at the rail racing third. Crypto Clearance coming on strongly, but too little and too late. Here's the finish. Blushing John with Cat Day wins the special by 2. On the outside, it was Proper Reality second, and Granacus at the rail third. The horse who had had so much bad luck. Only 4 races in the United States prior to today, and trained by Charlie Whittingham's old pupil, Richard Lunday, comes home a big winner in 1 minute 53 and 1/5 seconds.
Well, we said it was a competitive field, and it sure turned out that way. Blushing John, Alan Paulson's horse, the winner under Pat Day. Couldn't win the Derby last week, but he has won the Pimlico Special. Second place going to Proper Reality, and third to Granacus, who went off at 80-1. I said it might be a little bit of an overlay.
Definitely an overlay. This is a closely matched group and a well-matched group, and the way it's sort of set up, look at the fractions. 23-3. By the time Lustra caught up, then he managed to speed it up to 46-2 and then on to 110 and cost Slew City Slew the race, but his partner, Crypto Clearance, didn't come running, but Blushing John swung around the outside and came along in fine style to get up to win.
Okay, Pat Day, can you hear me?
I'm right on him.
Pat Day, this is Jim McKay. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, Jim.
Well, I didn't get to talk to you last week, but congratulations on this one.
Thank you very much, Jim.
Tell us a little bit about the race.
Prepared by Mr. Lundy. He came to the race in very fine fashion. He broke good, was in a contending position at all times, and responded big when I called on him.
Okay, that's a pretty good, quick sum-up. Congratulations again, Pat.
Thank you, sir.
We'll see you in the winner's circle. I'll tell you, a very articulate man, isn't he?
He does our job well.
Blushing John, who came from Europe, a son of Blushing Groom, an outstanding sire here in America. Let's pick him up on the far turn, Charlesy, in just a moment here. Slew City Slew was cooked.
Well, at this point, Lustra had finally caught up to him after breaking slowly, and Lustra, there you see him dropping rapidly back. He'd done the best he could after a slow start. Slew City Slew is trying to hang on, and here comes Blushing John on the outside. That's where he likes to run best. That's that European style. He won the Guineas, the French Guineas last year, and he wanted to stay outside and away from horses, and that's where he makes his best move. And we'll take another look at it here as they turn for home. And
Crypto Clearance all the way in the back, just beginning to move a little.
Crypto Clearance evidently just didn't really run his race today. I mean, for all the effort up front, he just doesn't unleash that burst of speed. He makes some kind of a move here. He's swinging awfully wide. That's the trouble with the come-from-behind horses. But by this time, it's pretty much a battle on the front end between Slew City Slew and Blushing John. Now, Blushing John had terrible troubles in the Oaklawn Handicap. Proper Reality made a big move here. He also had problems in the Oaklawn Handicap, but here's Blushing John. He's living up to the expectation they had for him here as a dirt horse. This is a new game for him this year. He was racing on the turf prior, but now has stamped himself as a top handicap horse in the country.
And in the process, Blushing John set a new track record for a mile and 3/16, besting the record of Tank's Prospect. However, Secretariat probably ran a faster time than that. The official clock disagreed with everybody else's. The winner unofficially, it's still unofficial, remember, is Blushing John. We'll be back with the official prices and the official order of finish. That's unofficial, Blushing John, Proper Reality, and Granacus. It is a new track. $10, good prices, and look at this. Granacus, the 80-to-1 shot, paying $15.40 to show. The exacta for $2 paid $198.40, and it is a new track record in 153 and the 5th. Here is the official and complete order of finish. Blushing John, Proper Reality, Granacus, Crypto Clearance was a hard-charging 4th. Brian's Time was 5th, then Saratoga Passage, Stall Wars, Slew City Slew, just couldn't hold on. Templar Hill, Lively One, Little Bold John, way out of it today, and Lustra, the Rabbit, bringing up the rear. Now, speaking of Lustra, he was supposed to burst out of this starting gate and put the pressure on Slew City Slew, but look, Charlesy.
Look at him. He snatches his head to the right just as the gate opens, and then his legs are, he's just in a complete tangle here. He bangs around on the side of the gate. He breaks out towards the outside fence. Tony Grael's got his hands full getting himself organized in the saddle and then getting this horse to running. In the meantime, Slew City Slew has gone to the lead, and his job is to catch him and wear him out, which he finally does. Now, as we turn towards home on the backstretch here, that's Crypto Clearance, Lustra's entry mate, who the stretch runner in last place, absolutely last in 12th, beginning to make his move, which turns out, unfortunately, to be too little too late. Look, he's got to go around all these horses. This was the problem we had anticipated before. He's coming and he's running, but he's got a lot of ground to lose here. And by this time, Blushing John is making a good move on the leader right now. And here he comes. He gets in gear. He always comes running, this little colt, but he's not today. And there you see Proper Reality, and the two horse in the yellow hat, and on the outside is Blushing John, and these two who finished in a lot of trouble in the Oaklawn Handicap come back today to show that they were better horses than they showed that day when they had so many troubles, and they battle it out to the wire, and it winds up being Blushing John on the outside getting the best of Proper Reality. And here's Pat Day watching the whole thing and enjoying this, aren't you, Pat?
And look at old Granacus charging there too. Pat, where are you? Oh, there he is. Well done, Pat.
Well, thank you, Jim. As I said earlier, he was well prepared, and he run his race today. I'll tell you what, he didn't run quite up to expectations in the Oaklawn Handicap, but he really done a fine job here today.
Mr. Paulson, the owner, is here. You tried to tell me about your horse last night.
Well, I think I steered you right.
No question about that. Congratulations.
Well, we've had a lot of confidence in this horse from day one. And he has the breeding to show it, too.
No question about it. So, Pat, we come back next week. Here we go again.
Well, I hope this was a tune-up for next week, and look forward to being back up here again next Saturday.
What exactly happened in the Derby?
Well, my horse just wouldn't extend himself, Jim. You know, it was basically, I thought it was a much better racetrack than what we'd run on in the Breeders' Cup, and I didn't think that it would affect him, but it certainly must have, and certainly did. He just would never get in the race, would never extend himself, and I know he's a much better horse than that. I've said all along he's the best horse that I've ever ridden, and I still feel very strongly about him. I mean, he's a really nice colt, and I hope we have a racetrack like this next weekend so he has a chance to redeem himself.
And now you got another tough one, Blushing John. Let's look forward to next week right now. Let's take a look at the field for next week's Preakness as it shapes up right now. Just 8 horses, it looks like. Now, it's not final. The entries don't go into next week. Sunday Silence, Easy Goer, coming back again. Houston will go again. Danzel, Hawkster, Northern Wolf, who gave a good account of himself. He's a local horse here. Pulverizing is going to go, and Rock Point. That then is the story as Blushing John wins the Pimlico Special. We'll see you next Saturday at the Preakness. This is Jim